All the footage from this video was captured live from our Twitch live stream. Check that out at twitch.tv/BadgerandPals. What's up guys, it's Jamie from Badger and Pals bringing you a Halo Reach datapad guide. This is all 19 datapads in Halo Reach for the achievements in the Master Chief Collection. So Datapad 1 is on Winter Contingency. This must be done on Legendary. We are in fact doing all of these in Legendary co-op on the PC. So right after you get out the Falcon, right at the start of the mission, you want to hop down this hillside here. And as you can see, or as you might see in the distance, there is the Invisible Elite down the hill. You want to try and kill him because he actually has the datapad. We scummed the checkpoint for quite a while here until we actually were able to get him. So once you nail him, you just go down to wherever you manage to finally drop him, and the datapad will be on his body.
Rifle, the assault rifle for whatever reason staggers him.
It's more accurate.
Yeah, you little bitch.
Right, on to the second datapad. This is still in the mission on Winter Contingency. So this is roughly halfway through the mission. It's just after you get access to the truck. And once you've got the truck, you want to follow this route here until we can finally get to where the datapad is. He's helpful.
Yes, we go over the little bridge.
Sorry, the PC controls
you can fucking do that.
the PC controls are awful for like driving. Wow, you killed a Moa with a fucking barrel.
Yeah, that should be an achievement. Oh, the forklift, I have to get that as well.
So as you pull up to this compound here, following the right-hand path, you want to go into this building on the right, and the datapad is on the floor beside a Mr. Deadman. On to the next mission. This is Oni's Sword Base. And this is Datapad 3. After you get out of the base initially and clear the wraiths, that are down the bottom of this, you'll get a Warthog drop-off. If you follow the path to the left, first of all, and follow it all the way around to the first main objective, that's where you're going to be able to climb up a cliffside and get your hands on the third datapad.
You need to go up to the top of that building and jump over to the rocks. You know the mission where you come back to Sword Base?
Oh yeah. So on the left-hand side here, this is actually up on the cliffside where you start in one of the later missions. But you can just hop up the side of the cliffs here, like I do. And up on top of these rocks is datapad number 3. I have it here for the stream, everybody can read it. There you go. You can also do this the way that Ross does it and hop across from that other building there. Alright, datapad number 4, guys. This is still on Oni's Sword Base. After you get back inside the base and go into the interior section, there is a lot of fighting you have to do to get up all of these walkways. Once you cross one of the bridges in this area, the datapad is on the floor underneath a set of stairs. On to datapad number 5 then. This is on the mission Nightfall. Right at the start of the mission, where you can assassinate that elite. If you pop over onto the right hand side here, this is also accessible from the back way, which is where Ross came in from. The datapad's on the floor here in between these rocks. Still on the mission Nightfall then, and on to datapad number 6. This one requires quite a bit of parkour, so get your jumping skills up to scratch for this one. This is roughly checkpoint Bravo, I believe, and if you hop up this set of rocks here and get onto this plateau, you can actually sprint jump over that onto the next, and you may be just able to see the datapad down on the right hand side there across the ways. Does kind of look like you could make that jump, but you absolutely cannot. So if you hop down onto this rock here and then jump across to here, it's really important that you miss the first time. But no, in all seriousness, once you actually manage to get up onto this bit of rock here and grab the datapad, that's that one done. We were actually messing around with this one for a while. Ross was struggling with that final jump, and we actually found out that if you're doing it in co-op, like what we are, you can actually boost jump your co-op partner off of this tree, like limb here that's sticking out of the cliff face. You can boost them off your head, and it's a real quick way to get them up onto that rock, so that the only jump you need to do is that final jump across to the datapad. Okay, on to mission 7, Tip of the Spear. Once you get to this section, where you're going into this facility, you want to clear out all the baddies. There is several elites, banshees, and other things that you want to clear out. Once you've cleared through this facility, the datapad's actually in the inside of the facility, just on your left-hand side, and it's on a shelf just before you go outside.
Clear the enemies out.
What if it means a different hole in the roof?
No, I'm pretty sure it means this one.
Okay.
Don't go too far ahead, just in case. Right, it's on a shelf somewhere behind some boxes.
Shelf. There's not many shelves. So in this interior, just before you head outside, it is on a shelf on the left-hand side here behind these boxes. Right, still on Tip of the Spear. This one's actually really close to the last one, so these two are really good to get in quick succession. Just after you get that last datapad and come outside, there will be a couple of vehicles waiting for you. You just need to speed down the path from those vehicles, and you can see where that warthog is on top of like that little bit of destroyed bridge. That's also where the datapad is. So just go ahead and follow these jumps, and you could go ahead and climb up there and claim the datapad. On to Long Night of Solace, and both of these are also very close together. You don't need to do any of the space section, and you don't need to do any of the Covenant ship section for these datapads. So on the inside of the facility, once you get in here, there's like a control room style looking place that you'll get into after these doors open up. The datapad's on left hand side as you come in through the door, and it's just up, hidden behind some of these consoles here on another Mr. Deadman. Still Long Night of Solace then. Just before you're about to get in the ship, don't. Instead jump over to this platform here and parkour your way, ninja your way up this sort of scaffolding aerial thing. I'm not entirely sure what this actually is supposed to be, but once you get yourself up here, if you can get yourself turned round, you can actually jump to a slanted ledge behind you. The datapad's up the top of that ramp.
Oh no, sorry, it goes to here.
You idiot. was here directly across, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that is possible. There we go. Oh, just missed. Come on. Yeah, Channer the inner ninja. There we go.
Come on, pop. Achievement.
Reading the answers now. Alright, Datapad 11, and on to the next mission, Exodus. If you go from a checkpoint Bravo, I believe, once again, it's just about halfway through the mission. This is just after you get the jetpacks, and you have gone through the jumping challenge. Check out that ODST that fucked his jump. If you clear this area here and jetpack up to this scaffolding, this datapad is on a Mr. Deadman. Still on the mission Exodus then, just before you get in the Falcons and go ahead and do the whole beachfront section, if you use the jetpack to come over to this part of the map, it's all the way on the right hand side of this big open area in amongst all that battle. You know, take your time, jetpack up these scaffolds very carefully. You can actually walk inside this pipe and it gives you a little bit of a better angle. The datapad that you want is up on top of these two air conditioning units way up here.
Okay, good.
I am being pelted by the tower at the other... On to the next mission then. Datapad 13 is on New Alexandria. If you head sort of north-northeast from the starting platform, you'll see this big building here that has like all of the antenna spikes glowing red on top. And the datapad that you want to find in question is on this big sort of wedge-shaped building behind that building. And if you come over to the back side of that building and look in amongst these air conditioning units and on this ledge here, you can see the datapad down there. I need to find a place to park without actually parking on top of it. It's in a really awkward spot for parking. There we go. Datapad 14, still on New Alexandria. If you pop immediately behind the starting platform, you will find this building that has loads of these little sort of hole cutouts in it and loads of ledges all the way down. We actually got stuck with this one for quite a while because it is way lower than you think. You actually need to go all the way down to below where it says, you know, you are too low, pull up. And the datapad is on a ledge all the way down at the bottom section. I actually did not stick the dismount, but thanks to playing in co-op, I was actually able to spawn back on the shelf that the datapad is on and grab that.
Circling me.
Shoo.
What if I run along here?
I'm here. I'm good. I got it.
Get it.
On to the next mission, the package. This is where you're revisiting Oni's sword base. As you clear through this section with all the elites and the engineers, you want to just follow the mission right to this waypoint. But the datapad is very cleverly, very sneakily hidden in the corner on the left-hand side, just before you go through the door. Datapad 16 on the package. After you get to the section where you're about to set up the turret defences, go and grab a jetpack and come up to this rock formation here. Come out to the back side of it, and you want to jetpack across the gap and underneath the bridge, and there is a ledge with the datapad on it. Once again, I messed up this jetpacking, but thanks to co-op, I was able to spawn back, grab the datapad. On to the last full mission of the game now. We are doing Datapad 17 on the Pillar of Autumn, so we want to clear through this first area. We actually sprinted around this right-hand side of the area just to kind of avoid this first bit of the fight and get in underneath the first section. I'm on the right-hand side right now. Once inside here, you want to come up these stairs and follow it round to the left-hand side. And you want to go out onto the catway walks.
No, it's down here, down here.
I used to come to this spot all the time in 360.
Good spot.
You want to come across this section here and onto the roof of this building. And if you follow this right to the edge and look in the corner, that's where the datapad is. It's not even the easiest way to get here.
It's not.
Second to last, Datapad 18, still on the Pillar of Autumn. Immediately after you've grabbed that datapad, once again, it's two datapads that are really close together, clear out this room just below the skylight, and you can drop down and in. And if you go through the door in the back here and follow this down, you simply need to break through one of the windows into this room, and the datapad's in the back corner. I always went through that window for some reason.
I didn't even realise there was a door there.
And finally, the mission Lone Wolf. So this is right at the end of the game. You can do this at any point on this mission, but again, must stress, this must be on Legendary for this one. Just straight away, you can jump up these scaffoldings, cross these little platform pipes, onto this, and the datapad is tucked away in this pipe right at the end of the mission. So that's all 19 datapads for Halo Reach. This guide was done on Legendary PC Co-op with my good buddy Ross. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time. Check out our socials.